People say that, he was standing in front of him and whatever. He's only doing that because Errol made him stand in front of him. So all that movement that they think they have, you want to fight Errol Spence where Errol Spence say you fight him at. And listen, I'm saying that for everybody else who think they can move in the ring. Listen, you're going to fight Errol Spence wherever Errol Spence say you're going to fight at. If he say right here, that's where you're going to fight him at. You keep thinking, no, you don't say, right where he say you're going to fight him at.
All right, man, I'm going to challenge you, man, because that's what I do. So, what if, when he steps in there with Crawford, Crawford's circling the ring, trying to stay on the outside, using his feints, his quickness. What's Errol going to do? He's gonna have to cut the distance.
I don't know what he's going to do, man. I don't know what to say. I have no idea. Really, man, Crawford's a great fighter. So you just got to be able to deal with his speed and his athleticism. It's difficult to deal with the speed. And athleticism, it's hard to deal with that too. So it's a big task. It's a phenomenal task. But listen, we're up for the task.
Those are the words of Derek James in an interview with Fight Hype. Shout out to Fight Hype for making an interview, for coming out with these counterpunching questions to counter the statements of Derek James. Because as you guys heard Derek James say, like, hey, Errol Spence, you fight him where Errol Spence wants you to fight him. He makes you do that. He didn't want a circle. He made him stay right there. So the question was, okay, well, what happens with Terence Crawford? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what Errol gonna do. That would have been different if he would have said, hey, I'm not telling you what Errol's gonna do. Now, Derek James might be playing dumb, but he answered too quickly. So I believe it. And he's like, I don't know what he's going to do because Terence Crawford's a great fighter, so it's a great task. So, you know what I mean? So either he's playing the public and they got a game plan, which I hope that's the case, or he's just admitting that Terence Crawford is a guy that does what he wants to do, and Errol Spence can't make him do certain things based on the pedigree and the speed, as you heard him say, that Terence Crawford has. Counterpunch. See, those type of things and these type of fights are going to come down to these guys getting their ass in the ring. And see, you heard Derek James. Derek James has had a mouthful of shit to say about Top Rank, Bob Arum. And if you notice, he slacked off of that because there is no Top Rank no more. There is no Bob Arum no more in regards to the career of Terence Crawford. But you've heard him say a lot about, he doesn't sell tickets and, we are the A side and we. But then now they're asking him, okay, well, Terence Crawford moves, he circles, he takes a walk around the park. What are you going to do about him? I don't know. Okay, but you just blatantly said that Errol Spence gets you to do what he wants you to do. So it's strange. It's very, very contradicting to hear Derek James say that. Okay, let's see what else Derek has to say. Let's go.
I'm being honest. He's a tough fight, man. It's a tough fight for anybody to take. I think that you'll see.
Most definitely. That's the fight everybody's.
He said we'll see, and to be honest, this is what I've learned this year about anybody that says to be honest, they're telling the truth. And even if they're lying the whole other time or any other times, when people say, man, to be honest with you, that means they're not going to tell you a lie. I've learned that from personal experiences. Okay. So he's saying he doesn't know what Errol Spence is going to do, because the first thing that popped in my head when he started talking that you do what Errol Spence wants you to do type shit is, okay, Errol's kind of flat-footed. Now, to be fair, I've seen Errol give Danny Garcia a boxing lesson, which I was very impressed with Errol because I didn't think Errol was going to do that. But he showed he had the ability to do that. He had the ability to box instead of going in there and just ripping shots to the body and upstairs like he does, because you pull that shit with somebody like Danny Garcia, you're going to probably wind up getting hit with something that you won't like. because Danny does have some heavy hands. You better ask Amir Khan about that, and it's like fighting that type of way wasn't smart. And Errol Spence showed that he could fight smart, on top of his injuries or proposed injuries of whatever, however his, chin would react to certain punches, especially a hard-hitting puncher like Danny Garcia. So, again, Errol Spence surprised me, but the footwork of Terence Crawford, I don't think that he has. But I think he has enough to make it competitive. So hopefully with that and the work rate that he does, because he loves throwing shots, we'll see what type of fight that is. But as you can see, Spence's trainer, Derek James, admits that, hey, we don't know what we're going to do with Terence Crawford. And see, at this point, knowing him admit that now, this may get us to understand certain things back then. Back then, like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe Errol Spence, or maybe he felt Errol Spence wasn't ready for a fight like Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford went from 140 to 147. They claimed he was small. Then they said, you know what, we're not fighting, you get a belt. Then he gets a belt. He beats Jeff Horn. He gets that damn belt. Then all of a sudden, all of these Bob Arum and Top Rank and politics shit comes up across the street, as you heard Errol Spence say, comes up. All these excuses come up on why Terence Crawford fight can't be made with the baddest man at the welterweight division, allegedly, Errol the Truth Spence. Okay, so, now you get a rundown on the fight, seemingly looking closer. Okay, so we're going to do videos on and updates about that, but now you hear the energy change. He went from being a smaller junior welterweight to a guy that, man, I don't know how we're going to do it. He's a great fighter, to be honest with you. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Derek James admitting to Crawford admitting that Crawford is a good fighter and we may not know what to do with him on the day. Tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.